Yo, what it do, y'all? Welcome to Fandom Frequency, where we dive into the entire multiverse that is pop culture. Make sure you're clicking the buttons below the video and showing that love for the channel. We really do appreciate each and every one of you that takes time out of your day to listen or watch us, however you do it. But we're going to be diving into the premiere of Andor Season 2. Us Star Wars fans and all of y'all out there have been waiting years for this. It is finally here. The first 3 episodes dropped on Disney Plus just the almost 24 hours ago, and I finally got a chance to catch up and catch all 3 of these first episodes because they're going to be doing it in 3-part chunks. So it's going to be 4 arcs, 12 episodes, 4 weeks going into the summer season here. And let me tell you what, I was a huge fan of the first season of Andor. Still think it is the best Star Wars television show and one of the best pieces of things in Star Wars universe ever, right behind Empire Strikes Back, the original, and Rogue One. This one is right there in fourth place for me. I absolutely love that season. And it definitely was a little slow getting started, but by the second episode, it really locked me in and got me going. And for the rest of the show, I was riveted. I was completely invested into the journey of how the rebellion comes together and really takes a stance in the first goings of it and paves the way for learning about the Death Star and also trying to get the plans and setting up the potential or setting up the idea of even getting those plans as a plan. So the way that this is played as a prequel has been very, very well done, very witty, very much tied into Rogue One in the perfect way. And season 2 is going to cover the last few years. It's going to be a year per each of the 3 episode arcs. So we're going to be covering another 5 years of Andor's life as he's getting deeper into the rebellion, as it's becoming more of a thing, as the Empire is establishing their stronghold on all these different planets, and it directly and personally affecting the characters that we're following along in the show. Even in this season here, how they kind of tee things up in this 3 episode arc, I think transitioning to Andor season 2 proper here, it's pretty fucking good, man. I will say though, slow ass start. Episode 1 of this one especially kind of lost me for a minute. I wasn't necessarily loving the storyline that they're taking Cassian Andor on, where he's stuck with these like kind of gangster type dudes on this other planet while he's trying to pull off a heist mission with this TIE fighter. He wasn't even supposed to get a TIE fighter to begin with. He's not properly trained, barely gets out of there by the skin of his teeth after he's crashing and fucking up the TIE fighter a little bit. He gets kind of stranded on this planet or whatnot, or is at the rendezvous point. And then all of a sudden, bam, he's stuck in between this conflict of these two groups trying to battle for supremacy in the wake of all this chaos of the Empire fully taking over and really establishing their stronghold on the galaxy. These guys are beefing it, and Cassian Andor stuck in the middle while he's trying to conduct a mission over there for Luthen and them over on whatever the hell planet they're on. I think Coruscant or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong down there in the comments, y'all. I don't remember all the planets they're always on, to be honest. But yeah, so that's kind of the main focus we're kind of going in with Cassian Andor, the character of Luthen, kind of still, working his political leanings in order to kind of get information from the inside, and is kind of, circling around different things going on with Mon Mothma's character right now, played by Genevieve O'Reilly, and Luthen, played by the incredible Stellan Skarsgård, respectfully. Both of these actors really nailing their roles, and while they don't get a ton to do in these first few episodes, Mon Mothma definitely a lot more than Luthen, and we're kind of just developing her character and her family and things going on personally for her that are kind of setting things up, while there's some political rumblings and some, plays for power and things like that, swaying people in certain ways to want to be aligned with certain political individuals that are directly personally connected to Mon Mothma and other characters around her that we got introduced to and established in season 1. So kind of the more political kind of Game of Thrones element that this show kind of brings is definitely very present in her storyline, which I thought was one of the more interesting storylines, just kind of tying in these first 3 episodes right here. But for Andor's storyline, wasn't necessarily loving it, but it definitely picks up a hell of a lot in that 3rd episode. And we're reintroduced to the character of Bix Kayleen, played by Adria Arjona, and she comes back and really does a great job with a very understated performance, more so into the 3rd episode where the big thing goes down and shit hits the fan. So the way that that's played and the way that the characters kind of slowly reintroduce into what's going on and her meeting back up with Cassian Andor in a very critical moment there in episode 3, played really well. I really have always dug Adria Arjona as an actress. So getting to see her come back in this, where I kind of not first discovered her, but was one of the first times where I really felt like she really stuck out. Was in this film, so I mean this series. So overall, I really enjoyed her character storyline. It was, like I said, really slow getting started, but kind of establishing the element of the Empire coming in and essentially colonizing the place, taking control over things, taking advantage of people. So I think the way that that all plays out, really using her character, her husband, and her family, and those direct connections to her, I think is really well done. And Tony Gilroy, the creator of the first season and this one, respectfully here, and one of the guys that kind of took over for Rogue One after Gareth Evans kind of stepped away or was taken off the project by the studio, whatever angle you want to believe or go along with, I guess. But him coming back in here, he really does a great job at bridging these two seasons and making it feel like the exact same series, but kind of upping the scale and the kind of visual spectacle and kind of cinematography going on. Like on a technical level, it feels like they stepped this one up even more somehow. But I will say, from a pacing standpoint, though, it was losing me a bit. Like, I wasn't really caring about what went on with Cyril and Deidre now being in a relationship, living together, and them her getting introduced to his mom, and kind of the meet the Fockers kind of element to it. A little bit of like a kind of not a rom com, but just kind of implementing something of that kind of nature in there. Wasn't necessarily something that I was fully invested in, but we do know that Deidre does have some political things going on with the Empire and her establishing her position as it is right now. But overall, I really dug this premiere. You know what I mean? Especially the third episode coming together and the whole conflict going on with Adria Arjona's character of Bix Kayleen getting taken advantage of by the Empire guy, and then that all backfiring into the fact of her husband's trying to, kind of they're trying to get something done, and some guy snitches him out, and then he ends up getting caught by the Empire and then losing his life. But Andor luckily is able to come in there, and he wasn't able to save Bix's husband, but he was able to get away from the Empire and help them escape, and ultimately finally get away from this fucked up situation that they're dealing with the Empire at the moment. And that, to me, really made the episode really kick into gear, not just because there was action, but it really just felt like there was actually more stakes going on and a real more interesting, compelling thing that was really getting me, entertained and excited by what was going on, and invested in what the outcome was going to be of the situation going on in that back half of the episode, of episode 3, that is. So, like I said, I didn't love this premiere, but so far it's really good. It's definitely quality television. It's much better than a lot of the things Star Wars has been putting out recently. Not the best thing right now. I would say these 3 episodes in and of themselves, but since we got literally 9 other episodes to go, 3 more arcs, I'm definitely reserving my judgment as on this season entirely. You got to let it play out and see how it goes, at least in my humble opinion. But y'all got to let me know what you thought about the latest Andor Season 2 premiere down below, episodes 1 through 3. I want to hear about it all. Spoiler away, just as I have, so you'll be able to, get into all the nitty-gritty details down below. We're going to be covering each of the arcs, so you're going to get 3 more episodes just like this, kind of covering all the major events going on in the first 3 episodes, my thoughts on it, and where things can maybe potentially lead in the future. A little hard to say right now, because they didn't directly set up a whole bunch of storylines that kind of play out in the rest, but I'm sure they're going to start even laying more of that foundation down in this second arc, and I hear from here it's just nothing but just keeps getting better and better. So hopefully that's the case for me. I wasn't necessarily blown away, but I would love to hear what y'all's thoughts are on it. We just got a bunch of trailer reactions up on the channel right now, so make sure you go check that out for like Predator Badlands, I Know What You Did Last Summer, a bunch of other cool stuff, and we got some other fun videos coming your way soon. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. Stay tuned, don't sleep. Thanks for watching this entire thing, and until next time, much love and peace.